Today is Tuesday, February 28th, 2012, and this is the Pastel Pony Podcast. How you guys doing? I'm your host, Vos de Sueños. So, we don't have an episode this week. We have one coming up, but we didn't have one this past week. So, we don't have a chat log, and there's no guest host. And I am extremely tired, guys. I've been a little more stressed out at work than I would like to be, and haven't had much time to deal with that. And getting ready to go to Chicago means that all of my days off are at the end of the week, and I haven't had a good day off for a while. I spent five or 6 hours this morning editing this week's episode because that was the first chance I got. And I gotta tell you, I'm not doing that again. It's just too much sometimes. I am thinking even right now about editing this out, but I need to be honest with you guys sometimes. I love doing this show for you guys. I really do. But sometimes it's harder than others, and having 2-hour-and-a-half recordings 2 weeks in a row is just monstrous. And I decided to try to add sound effects. And as you can tell in the recording, it just sort of trails off towards the end because I was just done. There's a good reason that I generally refrained from doing that before now. It adds a lot, but it's not something I can do every week. I would be able to produce recordings slightly better than the one that's going up today, Past Sins, if I were doing it once a month. But then I'd never get any stories recorded. It would take forever to do anything, especially considering that I have, 11 chapters of Past Sins left and who knows how many of other stuff. So, I don't know. Point being, I'm tired, and it's a lot of work. I don't know. I don't really have a point, I guess. Just sort of, more or less an explanation as to why you probably won't be seeing many episodes with sound effects, especially because most of the stories I record are going to be as long as this one. That being said, I also have to mention that next week there will not be an episode, which is very sad, and I apologize, but at least it will give me the nice, honest to Celestia break that I need right now, because even during the hiatus I was basically trying to put out episodes. But I will be in Chicago this weekend, and then I have to work 5 days straight, so I definitely won't have time to do an episode when I come back. There is a small chance that I won't even have a chance to do one the week after that, but what I'm going to try to do, since I did Past Sins today, I'm going to try to get the last request, which is She Will Be Loved. Not the whole thing, mind you. No, not the whole thing, but part of it. Maybe the first 2 or 3 chapters recorded and put that up. And then probably Past Sins again. And I'm not sure what after that. We'll see. That is the plan right now. I'm still waiting on finding a girl to do Luna's voice and have decided that I will not do it on my own. But I'm about 30 minutes into the final recording for an Equestrian Invasion. Other newsy things. Downloads. Did they work? Do you want me to keep putting them up? Do you care? You don't care? I don't even know. Do you know? So, those of you who are interested in downloads, I posted them during Today, Tomorrow, and Forever. Obviously, that's not a huge deal because they're, short recordings. But Past Sins is huge. And if you guys request it, I will try to put it up sometime tomorrow, today. Today for you, tomorrow for me. I'll try to put that up. Let me know if they work. Because if they don't work, we need to find somewhere else to put them. And if they do work, then we have a way to put them up forever. Now, I also had some questions for you guys. I want to know what you guys think about other media on the channel. For example, I'd been talking about posting GM Banhammer here. It's not even remotely pony related, and we'll probably have very little pony jokes, but it would have Mobius and I on a fairly regular basis if we ever get to recording again. Along with that, I posted a couple of audio comics and a couple of music as I slowly get better at that. What do you guys think about having other media like that on the channel? Do you like that? Should I make a separate channel so that you don't have to see it? What do you guys want? I had also considered doing some kind of event thingy. Yes, highly technical terms here, as my mood starts to improve as I'm talking about ponies. That's the way it works around here. Look at that, I even have a note to myself that says extra energy from friendship is magic. I'm not even sure what that means, to be honest. I think it's, because I keep finding energy in the most ridiculous places when I'm working on stuff for you guys. I started a painting a couple of days ago and have probably spent a good 7 hours on it already, which is a long time for me. The Cthulhu Pinkie Pie painting, which you may or may not have seen. If you haven't, it's on the DeviantArt, which is linked on the channel. But that only took me about 8 or 9 hours. From the beginning, or in the beginning, the picture with the formation of Equestria with Celestia and Luna circling around in that Van Gogh style thing, that took about 25 hours, and I kind of expect this one to take about that long too. But I find the extra energy to do things from absolutely nowhere. I work my flank off all the time, producing all kinds of ridiculous stuff, trying to get better at music, trying to make voice acting things happen, trying to write fics, and somehow I still find time to do more things. I assume that I just sleep less than I used to or something. I don't know. But back to the initial thing, or actually, I was also going to say that painting, which I will probably post up here eventually, was for something that I'll be talking about in the review in a little bit. I got the idea from the white box. I have a review this week. I do. I'm going to do it right now. I'll get back to other stuff later. Review! I actually got through a couple of things today, recently. Mythbuckers posted a chapter 2, and the writer is just getting better. It feels more like Mythbusters than it did the first episode. And the Cutie Mark Crusaders are basically Tori, Grant, and Carrie, which is kind of awesome. Then you've got PonyNet, it feels a lot like Portal. It's not, but it feels kind of like this combination between Gladys and Skynet, talking to this pony who got lost, or his car broke down, yes. The stallion's car broke down. And he finds himself in the middle of this ancient technology. One of the comments that I saw for that was, whoever had seen it was very agitated that they didn't describe what happened to get the world to this point. It's a standalone fic. It's a one-shot. You don't need the backstory. It would have been really cool, but I don't think that's as big of a criticism, but I understand it, and I would agree that it would have been cool to know more. Finally, nope, I've got more. A New Life is written by one of our very own, and the subheading is When Worlds Collide. It's a human and Equestria story. As I told the author, which is Mega Man on here, Dirk 396, I think, on FimFiction, human and Equestria stories aren't my thing. You'll probably never get me to read one on this channel. I just don't really understand them, but that's because if I were in Equestria, I would be aggravated if I weren't immediately turned into a pony. And if I wasn't, then I would demand that someone turn me into a pony. I don't know. And admittedly, the main character in A New Life is turned into an alicorn. But he still thinks very much like a human in the first chapter, which is all I had time to read. But written by one of the viewers. Check it out if you like. I'll post a link to all of these things. Finally, the white box is gorgeous. It is an absolutely beautiful story. It's tagged as normal, which it's anything but. It's white text on a black background for most of the thing. And it's about this unicorn, I think it's a unicorn, who's in what amounts to an insane asylum for no particular reason. He's just there. You find out later why he's there and why he has no memory of things. But Twilight Sparkle's coming to visit as sort of an envoy for Celestia and starts telling him stories about the outside world, and it uses the color of the text to sort of show his mood as things go on. And it's really, really cool. If you've read things like, what am I thinking of? The House of Leaves, which, by the way, is not Pony, but it needs to be. That needs to be Pony, and so does Serial Experiments Lane. Both of those things need to be ponified. I'll probably work on something very similar to both of those once my little enterprise is done. Point being, white box, very cool stuff. That's the painting I'm working on because it's really inspiring in terms of visual imagery. So, jumping around all over the place, we'll go back up to some of the notes that I had. Talked about downloads, talked about Chicago, talked about feelings about other media on the channel. The event thing. The event thing was what I was going to go for next. So, event-wise, I was considering a couple of things for you guys to sort of get the community more involved with each other. I started sort of this idea writer's circle Google Docs thing, and I was thinking about creating a second one for this channel where it would be kind of like a forum, but not quite. And you guys could post brief little snippets or ideas of your stories in there and talk to both each other and me. It would be almost like, basically like a writer's circle. And you could learn to get better at writing and story devices and talk about all sorts of things and just randomly rant about stuff that sucks or ponies, whatever. I don't know. Tell me if you're interested in that. The other thing I was thinking about is I know that people do a lot of live streaming, and people love that. I cannot really do live streaming, but what I could do is set up a time when I could get on Skype or something, or someone can teach me how to live stream, something like that. I don't know. I don't have a webcam or anything. I only have this microphone. But should you have an interest, maybe we can set up something live where it could be like a viewers' questions thing or something so that you guys have another way to interact with me. I don't know. I'm just sort of throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks. Another thing is that Derpy Day is coming up. I have no idea what that is. I really don't. I only know that someone sort of started Derpy Day as a way to eat awesome muffins and sort of celebrate random acts of kindness, which this world needs more of. It really does. My world needs more of it. I'm sure yours does too. I will try to learn more about this because I knew what I was talking about a week ago, and now I sort of have forgotten because of all this controversy that's going on with Derpy again. I'm not worried. I'm really not. But I do think that we need to do two things. One, we really, really need to not overreact. People send hate mail and they flame and they go crazy. And it's ridiculous. Not only is that not going to help, it's actually going to hurt things. Companies legally prefer to avoid any kind of controversy. The more you create, the more likely it is that they take away the things that we like. Not intentionally, but only to cover their bases. I mean, it's just one of those things that we gotta be better than that. We have to. Because if we aren't, nobody else is going to be. And I don't want to lose Derpy. I've seen so many images, so many powerful images, and it would be the same with any of the characters. But it's ridiculous. And the other thing we need to do is to not sort of lose steam. The first time around, everybody signed petitions and everybody was up in arms and trying very hard to be very brony-like, and we can't give up on stuff like that, not if it actually matters. So, basically what I'm saying is, if you see a petition, go for it. Sign it, try to talk to them, let them know what you think, and also love and tolerate when you do that. That's the other thing, is just stay cool, guys. Now, this, again, in the past week goes along with the changes that they've made to her, taking her name out of reference and changing her voice. First off, if you don't know, when that character was voiced, the voice actress did not know Derpy was supposed to be a mare. She thought that Derpy was supposed to be a colt. That, I'm okay with them changing. They didn't totally underp her eyes, and there have been posts on Twitter and a couple of other places saying she will continue to be in the show. The fact that we got a nod from them in the first place is nothing short of astounding. I cannot believe that they actually put that on TV, and I'm so happy and so glad to be a part of the fandom where the original creators actually listen to us. But at the same time, I also sort of understand, while I don't agree with it, I understand the point of view of the people who are pissed off and think that she's making fun of mentally handicapped people and stuff like that. It's ridiculous, but I understand it, and they can't really put it on TV. There is an extraordinary amount, which you guys know because you watch my show. For you that listen, whatever. You come here to find fandom-based things. As a result, there will always be Derpy in the fandom. Just like there will always be every other character, so we're alright. Everything's cool. Everything's good. And this recording's almost 20 minutes long already, even though I basically didn't have much to talk about. So I'm going to speed this up, because Luna knows that I just do not want another 5-hour editing session before tomorrow. So, don't have any friendship reports this week. I have a video of John Delancey at a sci-fi convention who gets asked a random question about ponies, and something called the Derp Chronicles 2, which made me laugh and smile. I have a random game, which, if you didn't see it, it's Daring Do, platformer, kind of pro. It's got a lot of really pretty music, and it's kind of fancy. It is very reminiscent of the old Super Nintendo games. So check that out. I also had a fan version of Smile, 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 which Equestria Daily had been waiting to post, and I completely understand that. The other thing, leaked. I have not watched it yet, but I know that they leaked the extended introduction. I'm not going to touch it. I will wait, and I will pay for things, and then when I pay for things, I will watch it. Also, I Bring Delals came out with something based on My Little Dashie, and given how many of you enjoyed that story, I recommend checking it out. It's kind of sad, but it's awesome and very well done. King Sparta X37 came out with a Rainbow Road and Smile, Smile, Smile remix. Rainbow Road from the original Super Nintendo Mario Kart games. Fantastic. Blends together much better than I would have thought it would. And is that it? I think that might be it, guys. So, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you're having a good one. I will see you later. This is Vos de Sueños signing off. Safe travels, every pony. And, while next week we'll not have an episode, I will do my best to get you at least a podcast of the newest episode. If someone wants, I will be in Chicago with non-bronies, which means that I will not be watching the episode there. If someone wants to get me a chat log, that would be really awesome. If not, it's cool. I'll just give you my thoughts and such, as I have done before. And I suppose that's it. You guys have a great week. Later.